If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Betting Podcast. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. Most of you know that. My co-host is the great Steve Fezzik at Fezzik Sports, and only at Fezzik Sports, on social media. You can check us out at Ross Tucker Pod. We're all over youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, and we are very much into our regular season routine. We will pretty quickly recap how we did the week before so you can see how we're performing and we can keep each other honest. And then we'll get into our picks week 2 in the NFL. As a reminder, we have the most beautiful spreadsheet of all of our bets every week put together by our guy, Sean Grady. He breaks it down by Ross and Steve and year to date and best bets and overs and unders and total. I mean, everything. It is pretty slick. Patreon.com/RT Media is where you can get that. You just sign up for the Tuckheads membership, and then you see it on our private Slack channel. Shout out to some of our most recent patrons, Michael Ziegelman, Eric Fellows. We've gotten a bunch. A lot of you don't want to have to write down the bets that you hear or see here on the Even Money Betting Podcast. Steve, it was not a great start for us. I am down 4 units. You are down 6 units. The one positive, 1-0 on our best bets with that under of the Falcons and the Steelers. Neither one of us had anything for that Chiefs-Ravens opener. You put 2 units on the Packers getting 3 points, Steve. They go down by 5 to the Eagles. Those red zone woes just killed them. Steelers-Falcons was our lone best bet last week, Steve. We took the under 42, 18-10. 28 points. Great call by you, Steve. That was 2 big units for both of us.
Yeah, when there's only 1 touchdown, you're probably going to be safe playing under 38. Unfortunately, with the Eagles, the +3, you get a +3 in a game that closes at, 1.5 and 2. I'll do that every time. Closing line value will pay the bills. That's why we do the show on Tuesday to get the best of the line moves.
Steve and I will try to, by the way, give out more leans if we have them, because we know some of you like to just put more bets in and you want to be able to put bets on games where we have a lean, even if it's not an official play. Like last week, the game I called for CBS, Cardinals-Bills, the Bills were laying 6. Steve, you leaned to laying 6. That's pretty unbelievable that the Buffalo Bills were able. That game actually was a push. I'm not sure what the score is here, but the game ended up being 34-28. So that should have been a push. I'm not sure what the grading here. All right, now we get to Titans-Bears. I leaned Titans getting the 4.5. They were up 17-0, and they didn't cover as the Bears won the game. Patriots-Bengals. What a surprise. Steve, this killed you. You had the Bengals in all 3 of your teasers. You had the Bengals down at 2.5. You had the Giants up to 7.5. Cowboys up to 8.5. Colts up to 8.5. But the Bengals let you down. You lost 6 units because of the team that you said might go winless is now 1-0.
Yeah, and it was a clean win, too. The Patriots outplayed them. That's the danger when you start wheeling, when you start round-robining all these teasers and you have a key game that goes down. Not only do those go down, but more than half of my Survivor entries, I lose with the Bengals. So I'm hanging on by a thread in Survivor with a few Seattles that I had. Not good.
Texans, Colts. You and I both had the Colts as a teaser leg up to 8.5. They came through for both of us. Jags, Dolphins, we didn't have anything on that game. Panthers, Saints. Wow. I put 1 unit on the improved Panthers, getting 4 points. They got massacred 47-10. That's a tough thing about week one. I don't know how much is good Saints, how much is bad Panthers, which really is the same for the other game. Vikings, Giants. You and I both teased the Giants up to plus 7.5. They lose 28-6. So I had 3 teaser legs. The Colts, Cowboys hit. So I got 2 units there, but the other 2 teasers involving the Giants, Colts, Giants, and Giants, Cowboys, both lost because the Giants were horrendous. Chargers, Raiders, we both leaned to the Raiders getting 3 points. They lose 22-10. Broncos, Seahawks, you leaned Broncos. I laid I took the Broncos getting the 6 points. This is wrong. It has me down as a loss. That was a push. So Broncos lost 26-20. I was getting 6 points. That's a push. Am I missing something here, Steve?
Nope, you are correct. There were a lot of games that the lines were, very close to the results. So that was one of them. The Houston Indy game flip-flop, 2, 2.5, 3, and it lands on 2. And there was a third game that also landed on the number. So, the importance of getting the best of the number, obviously when Minnesota wins by a zillion, it doesn't matter. But each and every week, you always typically see at least a few games that the number means everything.
Cowboys, Browns. We both had the Cowboys in a teaser up to 8.5. Boy, they put the Browns to bed. That was a good teaser leg. Commanders, Bucks. I leaned Commanders. They got beat badly. Even most of my leans were wrong. And then the one that just killed me, Steve. Absolutely killed me. This is the difference between a winning week and a losing week. Rams, Lions. Rams getting 3.5. Everybody gets hurt. First of all, Havenstein doesn't play at right tackle. They lose their left guard, their left tackle, Puka Nacua, and yet they still have a lead with 4 minutes left, and I'm getting 3.5 points, and I lose in overtime. That was brutal. It was just a lean for you, Steve. That was the right side. That stinks. Jets, Niners. I lean Jets getting 4. You lean Niners. Even without McCaffrey, you were all over it. So we got to check grades on that. I think grades had me up as a loss for the Broncos when that was actually a push. So we'll figure out what my exact grade is. Steve, you were down 6 units, but we are 1-0 on our best bets, and looking forward to see whether or not we have some more best bets together this week. Speaking of best bets, your best bet is to get free installation with 48 months, 0% interest, plus an extra $500 off just by visiting westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem. That's westshorehome.com/Ross. I've gotten 2 new bathrooms from these guys. I've gotten a new front door. I love all of it. More importantly, my wife loves all of it. And you can't find that other $500 off anywhere. So if you've been thinking of upgrading your bathroom or your windows or your front door or any entry door, westshorehome.com/Ross. Your wife will be so happy. She'll let you watch football all day, drinking Labatt Blue Lights with friends and living life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. Steve, we start on Thursday night. I'll be in the booth for this one on the radio side. National Radio Westwood 1 with Tom McCarthy. It is the Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins are laying 2 points. The total's 49.
Yeah, and be careful driving over to the stadium before this game, Ross. Apparently they take security seriously. No-brainer teaser. I have Buffalo, the better team. Hey, the game's at night, so them being on the sunshine side of the field doesn't matter because the sun will be down. I'm going to tease Buffalo from +2 to +8. I'm going to make 2 teasers. I'm going to play them with Detroit down to -1. I'm going to play them with the New York Giants up to +8.5. Both of those teasers, 6 points, two weight teasers.
Okay, so you and I have one best bet already to start the day because I'm taking Buffalo up to +8. And I am also taking the New York Giants up to +8.5 against Washington. Washington's not that good, and the Giants can't be that bad. I'm not with you on Detroit. Instead, I'm taking the LA Rams up to plus 7.5 in Arizona against a pretty good Cardinals team. So I've got uh, a few teasers this week as well. Buffalo and the Giants, Buffalo and the Rams, Giants and the Rams are my 3 teaser legs. Steve has 3 as well. We move on, Steve. Raiders, Ravens. The Raiders are getting 9.5 on the road. Totals 41.5.
Yeah, and I would lay the Ravens teaser was 7 points, but I don't want to put a 7-point teaser into my record. So just a lean to Ravens 7-point teasers.
Yeah, I feel like I would lean to the Raiders here, getting 9.5. I just feel like they're going to be competitive in this one. I don't think they lose by double digits again. So I'll go lean, just a lean to the Raiders.
Hey, real
How about
important,
those
Ross.
Saints?
Real
now
important.
they're getting 6.5 on the road against the Cowboys. Totals 45.5, Steve.
Sorry to interrupt. Real importantly, with Pearson, the coach, it drives me crazy. No, you shouldn't educate Pierce on how to make the right decisions. He's got 100 other things on his mind that he has to focus on. Just hire an analytics guy to tell you when to go for it, when to call timeouts. We've been saying this for 20 years. Saints, Cowboys, great game, no doubt about it. But now you've got the Cowboy tax. The Saints played a great game also. 6.5 points, too much. Saints plus 6.5, 2 units.
Wow. Yeah, it's just a lean to me for the Saints getting the 6.5. I know that they looked really, really good, but NFL has a way of coming back at you. So I like what I saw from the Saints as well, especially new offensive coordinator. I'm going to lean to New Orleans getting that 6.5. What about the Chargers laying 6.5 on the road, Steve, against the Panthers?
So I'm supposed to take the Panthers here with the bounce back. 0-1 teams do very well against 1-0 teams straight up the second week. No team wants to start 0-2. I can't do it. I just cannot do it because I said a lot of the Sharps loved Carolina this year. They bet their season win number up to 4.5 to 5.5. The quarterback whisper, Young's going to be better. Young couldn't play a lick again last week. Until I see that, I'm not going to lose my money on Carolina. I just lean Carolina.
I would agree. It's a lean to Carolina. I got to see Bryce Young play better than that before I start to bet on Bryce Young. How about the Niners and the Vikings on Sunday? The Niners are laying 6 on the road. The total's 45.5. By the way, I think I missed it. Saints, Cowboys total 45.5. Chargers, Panthers total 39. Niners, Vikings total 45.5, Steve.
Yeah, so obviously we just saw the 49ers play a tremendous game, even without C-Mac, which means they're probably not going to use him again this week. Hey, guess what? Another team played a tremendous game. The Vikings looked really good. Let's assume the Niners are the best team in the NFL. They're still only 6 points better than an average team. And now they're playing a pretty average team in the Vikings with a big home field edge and a short week for the Niners. Travel to Minnesota, early start time. You got to favor the Vikings. Vikings plus 6, 2 units.
I'm with you on that, Steve. And this is going to be our best bet, sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you're going to hear even more about DraftKings throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm exactly with you. Doesn't sound like from Schefter that McCaffrey's going to play again. I don't think the Vikings are going to allow Jordan Mason to run the ball down their throat. I highly doubt, in fact, that happens. Brock Purdy's going to have to beat him. I do think Darnold, I think the Vikings offense, Kevin O'Connell, I think he's that good. So I'm with you. Minnesota plus 6, 2 units. That is a best bet. Love it. All right, what about the Colts? They're laying 3.5 on the road in Green Bay. Steve, the total is 40.5. I love getting 3.5. I cannot do it without Love. I cannot do it with Malik Willis. I've seen Malik Willis play too many football games. It would be bad for my health to watch Malik Willis play a football game having bet on Malik Willis. I cannot do that.
Nor can I. I have a 7-point downgrade. I've got Love being 2 points better than an average quarterback. An average quarterback would be like Geno Smith. I have Malik Willis 5 points worse. That means he's a bad third string quarterback, and he's an off the charts bad second string quarterback. 7-point downgrade with uncertainty. I can't play the total either because Willis might throw a couple pick sixes. I pass.
So you're telling me that you think the Packers would be favored by 3.5 in this game if Jordan Love was playing, basically?
Yes, I do. They might be even more, but you're going through the zero. It might be 4.5, but you go through the zero, so that doesn't really count as one of the points. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. The Seahawks are laying 3 on the road in New England, and the total is a low 38. Not expecting a lot of points here, Steve.
Yeah, and by the way, quick comment. I was wrong on the kickoffs. Well, I was right. They should mortar kick to the zero, but most NFL teams said, the other team's going to get it on the 28.5. I'll just blast it out of the end zone, get my guys from getting injured, which I'm fine with that strategy. The one time it's stupid is at the end of the first half, Atlanta did that, and they gave Pittsburgh an extra 6 seconds, which gave Steelers just enough time to get a field goal. This is going to be a very conservative game. Tons of running. I don't see any offense. I'm going under 38, 2 units.
Whoa, under 38, 2 units for Steve. That is low. So that's like, if it's 27-10, you're still getting there. I'm with you. I'm going to do it, Steve. New England, Seattle, the under was good last week. Under 38, 2 units. Put me down for that on a best bet. I'm also going to put 2 units on the Patriots. I don't know who the Seahawks are. Actually, you know what? Just 1 unit on the Patriots getting 3 points at home. I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now, and I was not overly impressed by Seattle. 1 unit on New England plus the 3. Steve and I are going together 2 units on the under 38 in that game. By the way, just on the kickoff thing, it was by far the most interesting aspect of the kickoff was my game because it was windy in Buffalo. And they couldn't kick touchbacks in the one direction. So one went out of bounds. One didn't get to the landing zone. So both of those went to the 40. One got taken back for a touchdown. And one got taken back past the 50-yard line. So I was the game where the dynamic kickoff was actually dynamic. So I think that's one reason why they did the rules the way they did is because of the weather and late in the season and the wind in some of these games. Bucks Lions, Steve. The Bucks are getting 7 on the road. Totals 51. You've already teased the Lions down to -1. Anything else on this game?
Just on the kickoffs, next year, the touchback will come out to the 35, and you'll get to see kickoff returns in all your games, Ross.
I think you're right. There was enough kickoffs that they probably won't do it this year. I'm going to take the Bucks. Getting 7 points. I think this is a competitive game. I think it'll be a really good, close game. I think the Bucks are pretty darn good. And so I'm putting 2 units on Tampa getting the 7. I wish it was 7.5. It's not. I don't care. 2 units on the Bucks getting 7 points in Detroit. Giants, Commanders. The Giants are getting 2.5. Totals 44. You and I both teased the G-Men up to 8.5. We feel very good about that. It's one of my favorite bets this week. The Browns are getting 3.5, Steve, in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Totals 41.5.
So before the season started, Cleveland was supposed to win. Their season win number was between 8.5 and 9, and Jacksonville was 8.5. And Cleveland had the harder divisional schedule. So Cleveland was perceived to be the slightly better team. And now they're catching the magic 3.5 because they couldn't play a lick week 1. I will take the value. Browns plus 3.5, 2 units.
Totally agree. It's another best bet. You know how much I love getting 3.5, especially a team that got beat like the Browns did. I would be surprised if they don't bounce back. I am with you. That's another best bet. Cleveland plus 3.5, 2 units. Now we got the Jets. The Jets are laying 4 on the road against the Titans. Total is 42, Steve.
Yeah, I don't see it. I wasn't impressed at all. The Jets, by the way, are they home yet? As we're taping this, it's 5:46 a.m. Pacific time, Ross. I think Jets they're at the airport. They're probably just deplaning from their trip, and they got to get on another plane Saturday to Tennessee. Terrible spot. Titans should have won. They won the stats, just a couple crazy special teams and defensive touchdowns. I'm going to play 2 plays in this game. Titans +4, 2 units. Under 42, 2 units.
Not taking the under because of the way the Jets D looked, and I thought Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good, but I'm with you. Tennessee +4, I love that bet, as long as Levis doesn't just give the ball to the other team. 2 units, Tennessee +4, yet another best bet. I am fired up for this weekend, and hopefully you guys are as well. You know what you should do? You should grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please not share with anyone under legal drinking age. It's the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. All right, Rams, Cardinals. The Rams are getting 1.5. The Rams are very beat up. Totals 49.5. Yes, that is concerning, but also Sean McVay finds a way. Basically just Matthew Stafford throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp every play. I have the Rams teased up to +7.5. Anything for you, Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to take a rare bad number here, Ross. Now, pulling back the curtain, I gave this out to my clients, Arizona +1.5. And now they're laying 1.5. The cluster injuries on that O-line for the Rams, it's just incredible. Now, they still got 1 dude suspended. They had 2 guys injured before the season started. Now they got 2 more injuries. I don't know if some of these guys are going to get back. They won't be 100%. And you know this, Ross, as a former lineman, the continuity is just shot when you're shuffling people left and right. Cooper Kupp is God. He is so good, but Puka is not going to be out there, so they can double Kupp. I'm playing Arizona even at the bad number. You know why? Because I'm going to predict it's a good number by close. I'll lay 1.5, 2 units.
Bengals are getting 6 on the road in Kansas City. Totals 48, Steve.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a wuss. I'm just going to do a strong lean to the Bengals. No, I'm going to play the Bengals. The Chiefs are just laying 2.5 against Baltimore. Now they're laying 6 against Cincy. Well, going into the season, Baltimore and Cincy were considered to be equal teams. So there's been a 3.5 point adjustment. Is it the Chiefs playing really well? They won by half a shoe size. And the Bengals played a horrific game. So it's all the Bengals here. But now the Bengals at 0-1. They don't want to start 0-2. Bengals, 2 units.
Totally agree. And the Bengals play the Chiefs very, very well always. They kind of have the Chiefs number, so to speak. Bengals +6, 2 units, another best bet. I don't know if this has ever happened before, Steve. Steelers are laying 3 on the road against the Broncos. Total is a low 36.5. I'm taking the Broncos and the 3 points. Close game, could go either way. I'll take the 3 points with the Broncos, 2 units.
You know, we don't consult before we start because I don't want to get up at 3 in the morning. But it's amazing how often Ross and I align. I lean Broncos, I lean under, but you know what? 36.5, that's a bridge too far for me, Ross. I do not go under anything less than 37. You know why? Because you can get there by accident. Example, if you watch the Northwestern game on Friday night college football against Duke, there was no offense, really windy, double overtime, they went over. So I'll just lean under.
Bears, Texans laying 6.5, totals 45.5. Eagles, Falcons, Eagles laying 6.5, totals 47. I was tempted, Steve, to tease both of these down to -0.5 point because I think the Texans win the game. I think the Eagles win the game, but I know you're not getting the first key number there, so I'm not going to do it. Do you have bets on either one of these games?
Yeah, maybe I could talk you into it. I'm confident both these games are actually going to go to 7. And because of that, I can tease the -6.5. And I know it's not a pure Wong teaser, but if I get some line moves, it would have value. And let's face it, Ross, I want to have action on the Sunday night and the Monday night game, and I consider that to be the optimal way to go. So I'm putting 2 units on the Houston minus a half, Philly minus a half, 2 teams, 6 points teaser.
Ooh, love it. I will just lean that way with Steve. I'm afraid that one of them won't make it. What a great week. So fired up. At Fezzik Sports, at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. That is a lot of bets. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.